Hey kids, Tita James here. Welcome back to the channel where we take awesome out of the box, and just like that, we have another phone from Realme. It feels like they've been releasing phones left and right, but in this one, we're gonna say hello to the newest member of their C lineup, which is the Realme C15. This phone is armed with a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, so if you're in need of a smartphone that's below 7,000 pesos that has lasting power so you don't have to fight for power outlets at home, you might want to stick around for this video. While you're at it, why don't you sub to the channel if you haven't already and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next videos. Anyway, let's get the ball rolling and show you what comes with the phone before we take a closer look at it. First off, I have to give Realme the praise that they deserve for this packaging and building the community that they have online, because this great looking box is actually from one of their members, Vince Rico Hermoso. Vince, you don't know me, but you did an excellent job on this. This is a piece of art that I would gladly display on my shelves. As for the contents, it's pretty much your standard fanfare from Realme. You have the documents, SIM ejector pin, micro USB cable, and the 18-watt charging brick. Yes, it is a budget phone, so no case here. Also, I know we all want USB-C, but micro USB is still pretty much the standard in this price point, but at least it supports 18-watt fast charging or quick charging. As for the phone itself, ours came in the Seagull Silver color variant, and it also comes in Marine Blue. And while we're at it, it also comes equipped with a Helio G35 processor, 3GB of RAM, 64GB of storage, a 6.5-inch display, quad cameras, and the main highlight for this phone, of course, is its 6,000 milliamp hour battery. So like I said at the start of this video, if you're looking for a phone that has a lot of juice, this is something that you want to consider, but what else does it have to offer? The build quality of the phone is pretty much the same as any other smartphone that's around 7,000 pesos. You've got a polycarbonate plastic shell that has a bit of texture to it and a geometric pattern, which is actually the visual tell that sets all of Realme's sub-10K smartphones apart. It's something that I can appreciate, and definitely something I prefer over just a solid, albeit plastic slate of silver or blue. The first thing you'll notice when you pick up the phone is that it's a bit of a hefty one. Of course, that's due to the battery capacity, but it almost feels like the same weight as a glass-backed phone. Now, personally speaking, I do prefer phones with a bit of weight to them, but it's something I had to note so you know what to expect if you do decide to purchase the C15. For a tour of the phone, you have the headphone jack, microphone, micro USB port, and speaker grill on the bottom. Access to the SIM tray is on the left. And then you have the volume rocker plus the power button on the right. All pretty standard in that department. On the back, you have the squared off camera array with the quad shooters and the fingerprint scanner. You do have face unlock if that's what you prefer using, but I always felt safer with a fingerprint scanner, and the one on the C15 is pretty responsive. For the screen, it has the same specs as the C11, measuring in at 6.5 inches at HD+ resolution with an LTPS IPS mini drop display. It also runs into the same trouble in regards to outdoor use, which shouldn't be too much of an issue since it's best that we stay home as much as we can these days. In all seriousness, stay home if you don't have to go outside, and if you do, wear a mask, wear a face shield, don't forget to wash your hands, and of course follow all the protocols. Just stay safe, guys. Back to the display, I still enjoyed watching content on it despite the pixel density, because I did keep in mind that this is a budget device after all. Now, under the hood of the Realme C15 beats the same Helio G35 that was in the C11, but it does have a bit more RAM and double the storage at 3GB and 64GB respectively. If you're planning on using this phone for schoolwork or as part of your work from home setup, it definitely has the power to handle those tasks, and since you have a bit more RAM to play with, it will be able to multitask better than its brother. I have some benchmark numbers on screen right now. Feel free to pause it if you need more time to mull them over. When it comes to the gaming side of things, it's a pretty dicey deal. I already had it at the lowest settings for Call of Duty Mobile, and I was still experiencing frame drops here and there, though if you're into Mobile Legends, it should perform a lot better. I'll try to do a gaming review for the Realme C15, but no promises. Where this phone excels the most is, of course, its lasting power. I think I've said it about 3 times already, but it has a 6,000 milliamp hour battery that can go the distance. In our battery benchmark, it clocked in at 19 hours and 19 minutes, which is very, very impressive to say the least. It easily lasted me 2 days before I had to top it up, which brings me to a very important point: charging times. Now, you do get an 18-watt charger with the Realme C15, but it will still take 3.5 hours to fully charge this phone. Just keep that in mind. Aside from the battery, the cameras are also the biggest difference from the C11 since it does double the shooter count from 2 to 4. You are still getting the same main camera at 13 megapixels and a 2 megapixel depth sensor, but you're also getting an additional 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera to increase your shooting options and a 2 megapixel mono camera that helps out with overall exposure. And actually, I was pretty impressed with the output from the cameras of the C15 because there's a good amount of detail, the colors look pretty good with enough saturation without going overboard, and the wide angle shots are pretty good too. But as is the case with most phones at this price point, the C15 does fare a whole lot better when things are well lit, even though it does have night mode to help out. As for the selfies, you have a 5 megapixel front camera and the results are pretty much what you would expect. They're decent if you're lit well, but the portrait mode is pretty good for what you're expected to pay for this device. If you want more details about the cameras, I'll leave a link to Isa's camera tour for the Realme C15 somewhere on screen or in the description down below. Make sure you check it out. So now the question is it worth picking up? And as usual, it depends on your needs, because if you just need the basics, you might want to look at the Realme C11 because it does cost less than 5,000 pesos. You are getting the same processor as well with the Helio G35, but with the C15, you're getting more headroom with RAM and storage, so if you feel like you don't want to skimp out or cheap out in that department, I definitely recommend the C15, plus the battery life is just really impressive. Now, as I said, it isn't the best for gaming, so if you want something with a bit more power in that department, I would recommend the Realme C3 because that's still a very viable option. So that's pretty much it for the full review of the Realme C15. Thank you so much for dropping by and spending a few minutes with me. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, sub to the channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our content. If you have any questions, just leave them down below and I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can. For all the latest tech news and gadget reviews, head to unbox.ph, plus follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. My name is Jamie. Peace, God bless. I'll see you guys next time and stay safe.